So from 2014 till 2016, I worked as a party princess for a local party company, and primarily I was Elsa. So one day I arrived at the party pretty early, and I reclined my seat back to try to hide, because of course I don't want some passing kid to look over and see Elsa in a Mini Cooper. But about 15 minutes before I'm supposed to go into this party, a car comes and parks right in front of me, and I'm thinking, really? You could have parked absolutely anywhere, and you parked right in front of me. You know what? It's okay. I'll just wait for the sound of them leaving, and then I'll go in when it's my time. But this car just sits there and lingers with the engine on. And I'm like, what's going on? So I pop up to see what's going on, and I look and I see a mop of yellow hair and a blue dress. And I think, uh-oh, did my boss accidentally send another one of our girls to my party? So I double check the address. I'm trying to text my boss to ask her if she knows anything about this, but I have no signal. And as this is happening, the car starts driving past me, and I look in their window and they look in mine, and I realize this isn't one of our girls. See, in the blue dress, none of our Elsas wear crowns because she flings off the crown during her song, but this girl was wearing a crown, so therefore, not one of our girls. And this girl whips the car around, flies into the driveway, parks, and rushes into the party. And I'm just like, oh, what? I whip my car around and hail someone that's grilling outside and ask them to go grab the birthday girl's mom. And she comes outside and I say, hi, I'm with insert my party company name here. And she says, you're with that company? Then who's in my house? I just sit there like, I don't know. Do you want me in there or not? And she says, you're the one I paid for, so you need to get in there and I'm getting her out. And I'm like, 10-4. So as I'm driving to go park again, I hear her go into the house and go, Elsa! And the girl comes out, and as I'm rushing into the party, this girl is arguing, saying, I'm the best Elsa you're gonna have. You should take me and not take her. And the mom's just like, don't care, pay for her, get out. And before I go in, I turn to the mom, I'm like, what do I say to these kids? They've been with another Elsa for 5 minutes. Like, I don't know what to do. I haven't exactly been trained for this. And she just sat there and went, I don't know. And I said, thanks for the help. If I'd had more time to prepare, I probably would have come up with something more clever, but I just walked in and said, sorry kids, that was the evil Elsa. I'm the real one. And yeah, that was about as awkward as you could expect. I start off by doing a story time, and I'm trying to ask the kids questions as I go, and it's just crickets, and they're all just staring at me like. And nearing the end of the party, this one little girl looks to me and asks, so who was that other Elsa? And I ask, have you ever heard of evil twins? And she goes, no. And I'm just so done that I say, ask your mom. But I finish the party and I call my boss after to tell her everything that happened, and we figure out that the other girl is from a competing party company, and what we guess is that the mom reached out to her company and gave her all the details but booked with us instead. And this girl thought she could sneak in or something, I don't know. So I never really had much of a problem with kids seeing me in my car because it was actually a company requirement that we park a few doors down away from the birthday kid's house, and I always made sure I reclined my seat so that way passerbys wouldn't easily see into my windows. And we also asked that the parents kept the kids away from the windows as we were leaving so that way they wouldn't accidentally catch sight of us driving past. But there was one party where the mom actually asked to escort me to my car outside with the birthday girl, and I was like, you do realize we don't actually ride magic carriages, right? And she said, oh yeah, we know, but in our family, we always escort our guests to their car when they're leaving, and my daughter would actually be really upset if we didn't do that. So I was like, okay, and little birthday girl got to see Elsa drive away in a 2002 Mini Cooper. Kids really have no filter, and this isn't always a bad thing, and it's not like they can help it. I mean, they're kids. They don't really know, the nuances of the world. They don't really know when's a good time to ask characters if their parents are dead or not, but still, it can be a little bit, unsettling. So in my last video, I had a little skit that I did about this little girl who, at my party, when the music from Do You Want to Build a Snowman changed and turned dark, she looked at me and was like, this is the parts where your parents died. And I was just like, yeah. And she said, that's sad. Was it sad to lose your parents? And I was just like, yeah, it was sad to lose my parents. And she was just like, well, I have both of mine. And like, what do you say to that? I still don't know. Good for you. Congratulations. That's nice. And this sort of thing would happen all the time. I mean, Disney has a lot of dark moments, and kids have no problem pointing that out to the characters. Why, yes, I am on the floor of my kitchen in a dress. Why? Because I'm going to be talking about my first princess party, and it seemed only fitting. So for my very first birthday party I ever did, I was Elsa for the party, and it was very nerve-wracking because I had never done a party, of course, on my own before. My boss was going to be watching and shadowing me the entire time, and I didn't have an Anna, so it was just me. And my boss had given me some tips on the way up, one of which was make sure that you pay extra special attention to birthday girl because it's her extra special day. But when you're a princess at parties, all the kids kids want your attention. They all want to talk to you. They all want you to listen to them. They really want to interact with you. So I, at one point, lose track of the birthday girl, and right when I'm trying to go find her again, she comes around the corner, bawling her eyes out. And of course, I'm just like, that's it, I'm fired. I thought that I had done something wrong. I thought she was upset because I'd been ignoring her, but no, her brother just punched her. And I was like, can we maybe not punch the birthday girl? So a lesson that I learned the hard way at my party company was, don't volunteer to be the guinea pig for new costumes. I was hired at my party company very shortly after Frozen came out, and of course, Frozen became this phenomenal, huge thing, and we were getting request upon request upon request to have Anna and Elsa at parties, and it takes time to develop costumes, especially ones as complicated as Elsa's blue dress and Anna's coronation dress. Of course, now you could get those costumes from Angel Secret, Etsy, all sorts of places sell their costumes, but in the beginning, there were not a lot to be found, and they were in very high demand. So my boss posts on our Facebook group and asks if anyone wants to be Anna for a meet and greet event, and she says, oh, by the way, we're debuting her coronation dress, so you'd be debuting this dress. And I was like, oh my gosh, let me do it, I want to do it so bad. And she was like, okay. And when I got there, the wig looked like a helmet and the dress kept running down, and it is so awkward to have parents staying in line saying, hey Anna, pull up, pull up, pull up. Oh! So yeah, no more guinea pig for me. It's been a while since I've had a Princess Party Time story, and this one's a doozy. So I've talked before about how being the guinea pig for new things isn't always the best when it comes to princess parties. In my other guinea pig story, I talked about how I debuted Anna's coronation dress from Frozen and how it did not go well. Basically, the dress kept running too low and the wig was like a helmet. But I volunteered for that one, right? Like, I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. Well, this time I was also for a party and I had an Anna, and my boss approaches us and says, hey guys, we're gonna try a different activity this time. And we were both just like, okay, sure, what are we doing? And she said, well, the kids are gonna be making you two into snowmen, now get on your knees. So Anna and I kneel on the floor and the kids run around us, wrapping us in toilet paper. It honestly wouldn't have been too bad if I wasn't worried about my hair peeking through my wig and the kids didn't keep stepping on my dress, and having little tiny kid hands all over me wasn't, something made of nightmares. I'm smiling, but my eyes are screaming for help. Thankfully, that activity was never done again, but I'm still traumatized. So let's talk about eating at princess parties. So I do know that at some party companies, you are completely forbidden from eating as a character while you're at the party. But at my company, we were encouraged to eat a little bit. Emphasis on a little bit, Miss Anna with the Publix chicken. Oh, God. But we were encouraged to eat a little bit just because at the parties, sometimes if the kids didn't see the princesses eating, then they wouldn't eat, because a lot of kids tend to be copycats when around the princesses. And if they didn't see us eating, then they wouldn't eat. Now, my boss did say if we spilled anything on the costumes, we were responsible for cleaning it or paying for it to be clean, so I was always very careful with what I ate. And a little side note too, I love vanilla cupcakes, but I would always eat chocolate when I was Elsa or Anna at parties because I wanted to stay in character, but I was always kind of like... So I've been asked if any parents have ever gotten mad at me while I've been a princess at their parties. And honestly, I haven't really had any parents ever get mad at me, but I've seen some mad parents. And the first story that comes to mind is a really good example about why if you commit to something, you really should follow through with that commitment. Because at my party company, if you were gonna have a party of more than, I think, 25 kids, you were required to pay extra to hire a character attendant. So that way all the activities could go smoother, we could make sure that everyone was taken care of, the princess could be kept safe from, maybe some out of control kids, what have you. And I remember we had a party where we had a hired character attendant who came with me because it was supposed to be such a huge party, and there was almost like no one there. I was able to handle the kids that were there completely fine on my own. My character attendant basically did nothing but keep track of time for me. And the whole time the mom was on her cell phone leaving some very colorfully worded messages for the people that didn't turn up.